Welcome back, trainers. So we're going to be going over my last Rainbow Cup here in Anchorage, starting it off going up against Ganymede. Now, I'm going in here with the Mantane, and this is not too good here, so I did switch in right before the initial Stone Edge here, and now we're just going to go with that Azumarill. Now, typically you want to go with Ice Beam, so I did decide to shield this up, and I don't want my Azumarill going down quite yet. And don't worry, we'll be getting into Jungle Cup soon enough. I just wanted to bring you guys this before it got too late and nobody really cared anymore. So anyways, we're going to be finishing off that Quag there with a little bit of health left on our Azumarill. It's going down by the Ivysaur. And at this point, it's, it could be okay. We could win this. We could not. I wasn't playing too well this first match here. But you're going to see everything turns around. So going to go ahead and hit that Aerial Ace on there. And she does decide to shield up. In comes the Power Whip. I didn't want to waste that energy, or at least I wanted to get off another Aerial Ace onto that Ivysaur and take it out. In comes the Charizard, and I was like, ha, all right, that's what's in the back. Game over. Now, yeah, it's over. So I do believe this is going to be the only round I lose during this whole Rainbow Cup tournament. So going into the second round here, I knew at this point, I was like, well, I can't mess up anymore because I don't want to take a loss, the first match here. So I start with the Quag. She goes in with the Charizard, and right off the bat, I was like, all right, we're looking great. So she does come in with the Vaporeon, very unique option here. And I was thinking, okay, well, what's on it? And turns out it's going to have Last Resort. And to my surprise, that Last Resort is hitting pretty well. And the Azumarill is going to be able to resist those water guns, obviously. But the Last Resort is still hitting decently, but the Play Rough is just going to hit right back onto that Vaporeon, doing massive damage, and I'm able to store up that energy for the next Pokemon here, and we're looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and go with that Ice Beam, obviously, onto the Quagsire, and we're still sitting on 2 shields at this point, hitting up another Ice Beam onto the Quag, and she does not have any more shields left on her end. I'm going to keep that Azumarill going here because I want to get off one more Ice Beam onto that Quagsire and go into the Charizard now. I mean, it's pretty much it there. We're going to go in with the Quagsire and decided to shield this up, obviously. I mean, I didn't really have to. I could have went into it with the Mantane, but I wanted to just get that Stone Edge off and take it out. And that's going to be round 2 there. Going into the third round. Sorry if I don't sound too enthusiastic right now, guys. The Rainbow Cup, this is like, I don't know, probably my 4th one, and I'm very tired right now. Went out shiny hunting, found 2 shinies today. We'll be going over that tomorrow. Anyway, starting off with the Quag. She's going in there with her Quag as well. I do decide to go with that Earthquake to just do as much damage as possible. And I do let that Stone Edge go through. I figured that's what she was going to hit me with. And down it goes. We do have a significant amount of energy. I'm just going to go for the Stone Edge right away. Didn't care what it was. It's Charizard, so yeah, we're ready to go with another Stone Edge. And at this point, I was like, okay, we burned both the shields. Now we're looking great. Going to go in here with Azumarill and just finish it off. I do decide to shield that up because, yeah, it's obviously not necessary, but I wanted my Azumarill to have as much health as it can. Seeing that Blast Burn does actually hurt everything quite a bit. So she does switch into the Ivysaur here. Since there's no more shields and I do have a good amount of energy, I just decided to stay in that fight there. And then we're just going to go ahead and Ice Beam the Charizard and finish it off. And those are going to be some good games. Moving on to the next one, I had to battle Scarlet with her shiny team. So based on what she had, I decided to go in there with the Mantane. That thing is just awesome. It helped me out so much during this tournament. She starts off with Charizard and switches into the Fortress, in which I go ahead and go with the Aerial Ace and then switch out into Charizard so we can take that Fortress out. Knowing that it's going to have Rock Tomb, I did decide to shield because that will completely destroy the Charizard. So I'm going to go ahead and get off that Blast Burn. We are locked in here, so that's going to be your best option unless you wanted to shield bait with the Dragon Claw. But if you did do that, they let it go through, it's going to do 0 damage to that Azumarill. It's going to do some damage, but basically nothing. So Blast Burn, right. In comes my Azumarill. So we have the mirror match. I didn't have a 100% counter for it. So an Azumarill versus Azumarill is a fairly safe option, especially if you have more health. So we're going to go for the Play Rough because that's what you go with. Going up against another one, except for hers is going to be shiny over there. pretty jealous of that. I want to power mine up, but 2 Azumarill maxed out. I don't know. I don't think I can do that. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the Ice Beam as soon as this Dragon Claw. There you go. She baited my shield, and I fell for it. I didn't want the Azumarill to go down, but I did block it. So in comes the Mantane. We're gonna go with the Aerial Ace. And seeing that we're just going to get stabbed, and it's a safe option, doing a good amount of damage to that Charizard there. And I have no more shields at this point, unfortunately, and I was not able to get off that last one. But the Azumarill does come in and takes the win with the Ice Beam. And I won with the Azumarill with, not that much health, considering that shiny team over there. All right, now we're going into the next match, starting it off with the Mantane again. She's going in with the Scizor. Now we don't need to shield these up here, because it's not very effective. We are going to be part flying type, and we're going to be doing a good amount of damage with this Aerial Ace. She does decide to shield that first one up and bringing in the Ivysaur here. And I'm going to go ahead and just stay with my Mantane out here, doing those quick fly moves as well as the Aerial Ace. We do have a double KO there, and so I do bring in the Charizard against the Scizor, in which I'm going to be sitting pretty comfortable, hitting me up with that Night Slash. Down goes the Scizor. In comes Blastoise. So we're going to go ahead and go with the Blast Burn. Let's see how much damage this does. Pretty good amount. She does have another shield there. She could have blocked that. Maybe she wasn't expecting it to do that much damage, but holding it on to the last end there can really pull up that win for you in a specific situation. Say I didn't have Azumarill. So we are just going to simply bait the shield out, in which we did, and now we're just going to go with that Ice Beam still, because it doesn't really have much health, and we're able to take it out. All right, so those are going to be some good games there. Moving on to OMFG, it's Kesha. He did beat me last time, so let's see what we can do this time around. We both do start off with the Mantane, except for he has Bubble and I have Wing Attack. So Wing Attack is going to be the better option going up against another one, because you're dealing neutral damage, while the Bubble is not very effective here. Now, I did gain enough energy to go with the Ice Beam, because I wanted him to think I was going to use that and possibly pull a shield, but he didn't fall for it. But as you can see, our quick move that's flying type damage is helping us out a significant amount here in this situation. Now, I do have plenty of energy to go. I'm just going to go with that Aerial Ace right off the bat. Maybe I should have seen what it was, but that was still the safe option. And I'm able to just barely get off another Aerial Ace onto that Ivysaur, and he does let it go through there. Now, I do have Charizard in response. It's not going to really be needed here. He's just about fainted, so I just decided to let that go through. But he does do a switch into Ninetales, in which I'm going to go ahead and go with that Dragon Claw. Now, I was able to pull a shield out here. I was thinking I was in a bit of trouble, because I did have Venusaur in the back, and I did not want to get stuck with that Ninetales with Psyshock. But here we go. Don't know what I'm going to do here. I do have 2 shields left. Pretty much is my safeguard. If I did not have those shields, I would not have been able to possibly pull this one up here. So we do thankfully take out that Ninetales, and I was thinking at this point that he had another Pokemon, so we were totally fine. We had 2 shields. We're looking great. So this is going to be a obvious great lead for me. He is switching into Ninetales, in which I will go in with the Mantane. We will be able to take neutral damage from the Psyshock, and if he does hit us up with possibly Solar Beam, that's going to be doing neutral as well, but still, Solar Beam that hits a Pokemon that doesn't shield up is going to be doing a lot of damage anyways. So the reason why I put Mantane on the team with Charizard within the same 3 is because if I had a bad lead, I can switch into Mantane. If they try to switch, I can respond with the Mantane. It's usually going to be a pretty good situation for the most part. You're not going to get completely destroyed unless they had some sort of an electric attacker. Otherwise, you're going to be looking okay. I had to look out for Raichus, I had to look out for Lanturns, but I didn't see any, so I was looking great here. Anyways, we're going to be able to get off this charge move and then switch immediately into the Charizard and do this Blast Burn. I could have went into Ivysaur, but at this point, I just wanted to get off that energy on the Charizard. I had no more shields, he can take me out. And he's also using that charge move on that Charizard currently, because he did have some energy stored up. And we're able to get to that, almost get to the Frenzy Plant. We finished it off with quick moves here. That's another thing I like to do, is switch into a Pokemon when I know they have a lot of energy, something that I don't really need, and then bring in the Pokemon afterwards once they use the energy, and have them just take over. So we're going up against Mr. Champion over here, Bone Chip, and he is starting it off with Quag. He's going in with Water Team this time around, so it's pretty interesting. I figured going in with the Azumarill, Quagsire, and Venusaur is going to be the safest option. And it really depends on the order, because if you start off with the obvious Venusaur, well, I'm assuming he was expecting that from most people's teams and he was ready for that. Anyways, we're going up against the Mantane. I do have my Azumarill here, just taking the hits after hits. We did use one shield at this point, though. So it's looking pretty good for us, seeing that we do have that Venusaur in the back, and I was barely able to get off that Ice Beam, and it's taking it out. So the Azumarill is obviously going to go down no matter what. One hit, he is bringing that Lapras. I was afraid of Ice Shards, so I did go in there with the Quagsire. Did not want my Venusaur going down quite yet. He is hitting me up with that Surf, and he's doing that immediate switch afterwards, and I did not spam my Stone Edge, which would have been super effective to Lapras. I just went for Earthquake, in which that was the correct move. Now we can go for Stone Edge onto that, but he did have one shield left. Now this is where I kind of like messed up. I wasn't counting. I shielded up, and he had 2 Surfs ready to go. Unfortunately, I was not able to get out that Stone Edge. In comes the Venusaur, in which we were able to take out that Lapras with that Frenzy Plant. Super effective damage. All right, it's going to be the first game. They're going into the next match here. And starting it off with the Azumarill again, of course, because, I mean, if you're going to bring one type, I'm going to respond with the correct team. So I'm going in with the Azumarill here. He is making the switch with energy on that Mantane into the Poliwrath, and we're going to definitely be going for that Play Rough, doing super effective damage onto that water and fighting type Pokemon. He's going to hit me up with Power Up Punch, and I do not need to shield anything at this point. The Power Up Punch will build its attack higher and higher, but Azumarill resists it, and it's just doing, barely any damage, even when it gets powered up. He does let the Play Rough go through, and I eventually take it down. Do have energy stored up against the other Azumarill here. Now, one thing he did have on his team that I was worried about was going to be the Lantern, because it would have been super effective to the Azumarill, but he didn't pull it out once on me, so that was pretty good for me. Going in here with that Venusaur, going to definitely shield this Ice Beam up, because I do not want my Venusaur going down at this point. But there's that Mantane with that stored energy from the beginning. He's pulling that out. Very nice. Going to be going for that Frenzy Plant. He is going to be shielding it up. We are locked in here at this point, and I was getting a little nervous. I wanted to win 2-0, but I was thinking that it might not happen, but I didn't realize what I still had left. So we do go in here with the Azumarill. It's not going to have much health, and it's pretty much just getting taken out. What I did there was let him store energy onto that Mantane, which is not good for me. But the Quagsire is just a very trusty Pokemon here, so we are able to. I was nervous. I was going to try to finish it off with quick moves, but I did not want him getting off another one. But he does come in with the Azumarill, and I forgot how little health it did have. Therefore, finishing off with the Stone Edge, that's going to be a good game. So I was able to take this tournament, guys. Got number 1 there. And thank you to everybody who I went up against. Those were some great battles. And also thank you to the host. And like we've seen before, we got Meg Badass, who came in 3rd place, and then Bone Chip 2nd, and myself in 1st. And I also want to give a big shout out to Warehouse 49 for continuously letting us have our tournaments at their establishment. Very nice place. I urge you to possibly check them out if you're in the Anchorage area and you're looking to have LAN parties or any other possible board games with your friends and need a place to play. And with that said, trainers, thank you for watching, and I will be catching you all next time with a more energetic video. All right, maybe you guys like this more calmer tone that I'm doing right now, but I promise you we're gonna get right back to it. And also, I did go out there and do some raids with Scarlet, and we did take out the Alola Marowak without any weather boost using Rampardos, so I will be bringing you that. Also catching a few new Alolan Shinies. Well, not a few, but just one. So anyways, now with that said, trainers, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.